Hey everybody, it's Sunday afternoon and we're moved, sort of. I thought I'd take the time to show everybody our rig. This is Big Frank. Big Frank is a 2001 Chevy Express. And he is the enormous van that we are going to use to pull our travel trailer across the country on our way to North Carolina. A couple of people have asked, once they found out what we're doing, how are you going to pull something that big and in what way? Well, here's the answer. Big Frank is a 12-passenger van. He's a 2001 Chevy Express. We have 8 seats in him. I'll show you the configuration in a minute. But yeah, he is a great big, long wheelbase Chevy Express. So technically, he could probably seat about 15 people if we had all the seats for it. But instead, we have seats up to about there. So we've got seats that way and cargo space that way. So lots of cargo space and lots of room. We've got a roof rack with a second spare tire right there. I put outdoor lights, a light bar up in the front right there, because if we're going to be living off-grid or living out at campsites, I'd like to be able to see things. And so we've got lots of lights that I can turn on, and every side of the van is all lit up. In the back, we've got our tow hitch. This is just a standard, normal, average tow hitch. What we're planning on doing is getting a load equalizing hitch with anti-sway capabilities, because towing a huge 36 or 38 foot camper, it tends to get blown around a little bit. Oh, hi Hope! So a load equalizing hitch with sway protection keeps you from getting blown around like a leaf in the wind. We haven't got that yet. We're planning on getting our camper this week, so that's exciting. God willing, we'll be able to go find one, bring it home, and start loading it up. In the meantime, I'll give you guys a little tour of Big Frank. Now you'll notice that he is partially black and partially what I lovingly call murder red or maroon. The black is actually a vinyl wrap. We have the rest of the wrap that we're planning on getting it wrapped with. I just have yet to find the right person to do the wrapping, because the magic is in the application. It can look really good or really bad, and I would like to not do it really badly and be stuck with the results. That being the case, here we go. Here's the back of Big Frank. He's enormous, which is a wonderful thing. Normally, we've got a driver and a passenger seat. There's Solly. Hi, Solly. And we've got 2 bench seats that seat 6 people in the second and third rows. Normally, there'd be a 4th row, but instead, I'll show you here, I've got all of my tool rack built in here. I built these, we've got metal shelves with a wooden shelf on top, and I have, let's see, over about a month, all of the tools I brought out to work on the van, I left out here. So any tool that I needed over a month of getting it ready for this trip, I just left in the van. So by the time we moved, I was confident that I had every tool I could reasonably need to use already in here. So that way I have all the tools I might need to fix anything other than a massive mechanical failure while we're on the road. We've got lots of storage space in the back. Without all the shelves and everything, there's probably enough room to put a queen-size bed in the back of this with all the seats, but that's obviously not what we're going to do. We've got our barn-style doors, which I like a lot more than some of the other configurations. Now, this is a 2001, so it didn't have a backup camera. So instead, I installed this snazzy backup camera, and it actually wires up to a mirror in the front. I'll show you that in a minute. There's Hope again. Hi, Hope. We've got the 3rd row of seats, the 2nd row of seats, obviously all filled with car seats and baby seats and everything. Nice and roomy. I'll take everybody around. There's our light bar. It's a 50-inch light bar that I installed. It's LED. We've got it wired into a switch in the front. Let's take a look. So here's the driver's seat. You'll notice the very classy wood dashboard that I found at the junkyard that fit perfectly, and it was also not cracked into oblivion like the original one was. I installed a trip computer, this guy. It tells me RPM, engine load, engine temperature, coolant temperature, all of the things you want to know when you're hauling something heavy, so that if something's wrong, I'll know before I'm stuck on the side of the road. We've got our cell phone chargers. One of the best things about these vans is just how much room there is. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a solid, like you could fit a third seat in between the driver's seat and the passenger seat. But there's a lot of room. We've got cell phone chargers, our sunglasses, glove box, all of that stuff. And we've got our snazzy switches for our, can you see my finger? Where is it? There we go. We've got our front spotlights and our everywhere else around the van spotlights. So we can light up the entire thing with these snazzy LED spots. So if we pull into a campsite and it's late at night and we can't see anything, I can hit those two switches and boom, the whole 360-degree area is all lit up. It's a baby.
And can I say something?
Of course.
Yes. For all the wives that are wondering if it's possible to even drive this thing, yeah, it's easy, and it actually drives, I think, just as easy as our Sienna. You just got to get used to how much tail end you have.
Mm-hmm.
And the nose is so much narrower, shorter.
Mm-hmm.
You can pull so far up into parking spaces that, yeah, it just kind of balances out. Yeah, I think it's pretty easy and it's fun.
It's a lot of fun to drive.
It's really fun on windy Indiana roads, right?
Indiana has very narrow roads. You've been told.
We won't say who was driving during that. Anyways, that's all.
So one of the biggest questions people have had is, what are you doing? Let's see. We have a big family. We have 7 of us, including Truffy right there. Hi, Truffy. I got a wave. That's a good one.
Who is also named Jamie.
We have a family of 7, and we need a big camper. So that means we cannot have a pickup truck. A pickup truck obviously only seats 5 or 6 people. We have 7, and so that's completely out of the question. This van is a Chevy Express 3500. That means it's a 1-ton vehicle. So it has a towing capacity of 10,000 pounds. 10,000 pounds it's not the heaviest rating that you can get, but it will tow a 38-foot, 10,000-pound camper, which is big enough for us, and it has enough seats to seat our whole family. I was lucky enough to find one that was a diesel. That's relatively rare, and why I was willing to drive all the way from Buffalo to Philadelphia to pick it up when I saw it on Craigslist. So shout out to my friend and Big Frank's former owner in Philadelphia. It's a great van, and I'm glad I bought it from you. The diesels are just made for towing. I did a lot of research, and from everything I'd heard, diesel was absolutely the way to go for towing. And from everything I've seen so far, we haven't towed anything hugely heavy yet, like our future camper. But yeah, it just pulls up the hills, and it doesn't sound like it's beating itself to death like a gas engine vehicle would, pulling something heavy up a hill. So that is the intro to Big Frank. I realize, oh, hi Hope. What do you want to show us? Just you and your moped? Okay, let her rip. Hope's moped is sort of the antithesis of the enormous diesel van, but still very fun.
We could get it wrapped pink.
Yeah, well, that's true. Instead of wrapping it black, maybe we should wrap it pink. Not going to happen. But yes, if you're wondering where Big Frank came from, we name all of our vehicles. Sometimes they're clever, sometimes they're a little turn of phrase, sometimes they're just plain ironic. Well, the first time we were riding in Big Frank, we're sitting here going, what should we name him? And Solomon, my son who's 5, sits there and looks around and says, what if we named him Big Frank? And we all sat there and thought, yeah, that's perfect. We found his name. So Solly nailed it. Good job, bud. Well, that's all for our intro to Big Frank, the adventure van. Hopefully next time you see him, he will be all black and not murder red. And yeah, the next time, hopefully, we shoot something, he will have an enormous camper behind him, and we can give you a walkthrough of the travel trailer we picked. See everybody soon.